These are some new art supplies I've just got. And yes, they are meant to be for children. They are Tempera Paint Sticks from Shuttle Art. I saw so many artists on YouTube using them and loving them that I thought that I would treat myself to some playtime. Basically like glue sticks but with painting. I've done a full review of the paint sticks and how they work and how you can use them in mixed media, and as part of that I did this very bright journal spread in my little round journal. I had so much fun that I decided to do another one, and I'll show you the process. My name's Liz Chaderton. I'm a watercolour artist usually, and I live in Berkshire. Every week I share tips, tricks that I wish I'd known about ages ago, but I also share new art materials that I discover and how I use them. And I'm a bit fond of mixed media. So in this short film, I'm going to show you how I did this spread that's got collage, and it's got the tempera paint sticks, and it's got a napkin on top and some stamping and some lettering, just to show you what these materials can do. I so enjoyed doing this incredibly colourful spread in my little round journal that I thought I'd do another one. And the next page I had prepared absolutely ages ago with some what's that called? Music. Music over the top. Thought this might be a good test of how these sticks work, and I'm going to stick with some pinks. I am obviously in a pink mood, and I'm just putting a light amount of pink around the side. Blend it in and see how much we blend. Not as much as I thought. This is on unprepared, haven't put anything on top of this music, so that might be part of it. So it's definitely water soluble, but not the most water soluble stuff I've ever seen in my life. I'm using a flat brush because I thought that might sort of give it a bit more of a shove to move. I don't want to use a massive amount of water because this is just music paper. It's not going to stand up to life very much. Oops. If you heard that, I was just dropping 30 tempera sticks. I wonder if we put some of that over the damp, how that will go. I do love using new media because you have that, I wonder what happens if, and sometimes it's not great and sometimes it's really fun. Just highlighting some orange. I am loving orange and pink together at the moment. Isn't that funny? I don't know why. What I'm going to do next, got this napkin. I could cut out some of these and sort of collage on some flowers, and you'd also get the see-through, and some of the music would show through. This way of cutting out the bits you want so you get a nice ragged edge that doesn't show up too much is just to use a small brush and water, outline what you want, and then you can rip along the line you've outlined, and that water's sort of weakened the napkin, and you can sort of cut it out, and you end up with a nice torn edge. This is just the top layer of a serviette, of a napkin, a paper napkin. Peel off the back 2 layers, you get just the top printed layer, and it ends up sort of, this will melt into the background. I'll show you in a mo, and it makes a really beautiful effect. Of course you could just cut it out with scissors, but as I say, I like a nice torn edge because I find it just disappears and blends more easily. That little technique of cutting out works with rice paper too. People often ask, oh, where do you get your napkins from? And oh, all over the place. So just supermarket, when I'm out shopping, if I spot something, I pop it into my basket. Waitrose in the UK has a very nice selection of napkins, very classy. Do you know what? I just ask on my local Facebook group, and my friends know that if I've got a couple left over after an event, I'm always very grateful for them, because you usually don't need a whole pack of the jolly things, do you? Just want one or two. I'll go for something like that. It's got some matte gel medium, which is a really good glue for sticking stuff down. Don't put your glue on your napkin, so you will just end up with a muddy mess. Don't worry about only sticking it in one place, because it dries clear and it's matte, so it won't show at the end. And you can just glue down over the top of it as well, which is handy. And can you see how the edges sort of disappear? Lap these ones. Ooh. And there, whoops. Now, I was too gung-ho there, wasn't I? I wasn't concentrating, and I've mashed that up. I can disguise that. Grab one of my favourite stencils. I really liked the way you could move this through the stencil when I tried it before, so let's hope it works just as well here. Interesting, it doesn't go through the smaller gaps in the stencil quite as well as it does in the larger gaps. That's okay, that's all learning, and that will help me select the right stencil for next time. Now, I quite like just a slight damp of the food. I mean, I don't want so much water that it goes under the stencil, but that just helps get a bit more variation, I think. I would like to put something here. I've deliberately left that as a lighter area. And I guess the music on the background makes me think of Let's Face the Music and Dance. We had Live a Colourful Life there. So I want to put my little phrase here, and I'm going to handwrite it. Why not? I'm always so nervous about handwriting, and I've got to overcome that. Let's do dance big. Well, that's quite fun, isn't it? Not sure it stands out quite enough. So that gives me an opportunity to look for another medium to see whether that will work on top of our temperas. And I'm just using a fine liner pen, which, if my acrylic was dry, would be working absolutely fine. Final touch, I'm just going to do a little bit of stamping because I want to see how that works on top. I've got a black stamp. Should really have this on a block. Should I find a block? thing about not putting it on the block. It's easier to do little partial bits, just maybe a flower here and there, whereas if it's on a block you end up printing the whole thing. Quite like taking a couple of prints off it so that the final ones are more faded. You get dark bits and more faded bits. And here's the final spread. I'm just so loving this colour combination, and in the process we've really explored some of the properties of those Tempera paint sticks. We've seen how they're not that water soluble. Yes they are, but you've got to kind of shift them a bit. We've seen that lovely vibrant colours. We've seen that they are great put through stencils, that you can layer on top of them with printing inks, with acrylics, with fine liners. And I just think they are so much fun.